Muzan's back!
Tell a friend.
As for this week's episode, it begins after Tanjiro and Inosuke, or Imovsuke, both finished moving the Boulder 1 Cho, which is quite impressive, but while that's happening, Zenitsu is looking at this in awe, and I mean, how could you not be impressed? They moved a boulder by themselves over 300 feet. It shows that they have achieved another level in terms of their strength, and likely means they're ready to take on Muzan Jackson, which, BT dubs, get mega hyped because the next episode of Demon Slayer will pretty much be the length of a feature film, and also, we're getting a trilogy to end the series! I am so hyped because I theorized on a recent chill stream, psst, I'm doing another one this week, by the way, so subscribe. Also, I'm currently streaming my first playthrough of Elden Ring on Twitch, and I would love it if you click that link and follow me there, but, only if you want to. That the finale would be a film, and while I thought it would be one movie, I was surprised to see that it'll actually be a trilogy of films, which means it'll be 3. I think this is a fantastic move for the series overall, as Mugen Train was a massive film for them, and it makes financial sense, but as well, UFO Table is perfect for this. The Heaven's Field trilogy is some of the best work the studio has ever done, and a major accomplishment in the world of anime in general. It'll be hard for them to try and top Heaven's Field, but if there is a studio that can do it, it'll be the gods over at UFO Table and their incredible staff. So I'm excited, and so excited that I'll be taking my entire family to the theater on my dime. Anyways, mild sipping for Demon Slayer aside, Zenitsu gets a letter from the cute little bird that literally stabs his foot with its beak. Zenitsu in his head during that moment was probably like, "Dear diary, wear boots. Kill Inosuke." While that happens, we are treated to a great backstory to the Stone Hashira, who tells Tanjiro about how he was distrustful of him and many other people initially. And the reason for this distrust is because of, you guessed it, tragic backstory! Joking aside, of course, the backstory is quite simple, but I found it quite profound. Before he was the Stone Hashira, he created his little found family, and while not blood related, they relied on each other and got by. That changed when a demon attacked and killed everyone except for him and a little girl named Sayo. Everyone tried to run away. After all, he was blind, and so they thought that they ran because he wouldn't be able to fight a demon. He's blind. Duh. So they didn't put their trust into them, which they should have, as he rips off the demon's arms and beats it to death with his bare hands. It was truly a badass moment, as he gives it his all to protect Sayo, and the way he describes how it felt was really cool. He felt pure agony, that he took no joy in doing it. It made him feel even more noble and brave because this was something he didn't even want to do. He was going against his very own belief system, his own identity as a person, to be pushed to an extreme and do what is right in that situation, even if it technically wronged him personally, if that makes sense. It's a commentary on what humans can do when pushed to the limit on both sides. People can do great things in those moments and do horrible things. It's almost like they go on autopilot. The way he used all of his strength to beat the demon to death, though, was absolutely incredible, and it was sad that Sayo reacted the way that she did, because for whatever reason, Sayo chose to protect herself selfishly, and so he was sent to prison for murder, as obviously the demon's body turned to ash, so there was no sign of it. That being said, you'd think they'd be able to tell the wounds for the body that this was clearly an attack from the demons, right? Well, I think because it was a little girl who said this, they took her side naturally and brushed aside all of the details. After all, kids are seen more as pure and innocent, and even though he himself at the time was a kid too, it was just an unfair situation all around. And while it would be easy to get angry at Sayo, I feel like the entire thing was just a mess to begin with, and I can't help but feel sympathy for both of them. They both went through something deeply traumatic, and they lost their whole family, and Sayo and him were just a child. They couldn't possibly understand or cope with anything they both saw. It's unfair and messed up. Yep, but it's such a harsh thing to go through. But that's the thing. Tanjiro never lied or ran off when push came to shove. Tanjiro's true nature is genuine and selfless. To him, that's huge because he became distrustful because in his family's time of need, they abandoned and didn't trust him. His true nature was to choose protecting his family over himself, his own beliefs and morality, and end this demon's life. And Tanjiro showed that he could trust people again. or at least just him. That's pretty powerful, and the message is something that I myself can relate to. I think a lot of our lives we meet people and have our trust broken, so the way this series tackled it made me not feel so alone in that. That yeah, there are people that will betray us, but at least, we're being true to ourselves and to these other people, right? There is some solace in that we try our hardest in these moments and we give it our best, and yeah, these other people did what they did, but that's okay. People come and go, and this series, I don't know, it made me think more about my life and how much it overlapped with the Stone Hashiras, and I appreciated that. It's also fitting that he is the Stone Hashira, because people who go through this stuff are tough as nails, or rather, stone. It takes a truly brave person to go through what he went through and come out the other side as well as he did. I mean, after all, he's a Hashira, and shows people who have experienced these situations to keep pushing and moving forward. Because after all, people who go through this stuff and come out the other side really well are immovable as stone. Afterwards, Tanjiro, Imosuke, and Genya have a meal together, and we get some nice details like the Stone Hashira offering his help to Genya, like sending him to Shinobu for checkups and giving him a position to help him out. This shows that he really is a thoughtful person who is trying to help his people. Tanjiro then suggests Genya go see about his brother Saname, so we'll see about that indeed. Hopefully there is some happy resolution between these two brothers. Tanjiro then goes to give Zenitsu his food, and he's in a somber mood from the letter, it seems. He hasn't moved the Boulder 1 Cho yet, and he seems reflective, saying he knows now what he needs to do and that Tanjiro really is a good person. Now this scene surprised me, as we never really have seen Zenitsu like this in the series prior. It puts into perspective that while a goofy goober, which is, by the way, not a criticism of his character, Zenitsu's craziness also shows that he's constantly anxious and worrying to some degree. He usually just shows it through these intense comedic moments. Zenitsu isn't stupid or a gag character. There is a bit of subtlety where his outbursts seem random, but think about it, they're kind of glimpses into Zenitsu's mind. I think that with this scene, it shows he has a lot of weight put upon him, which has put him in a dour mood. But holy mother of bejeebus, this next scene is incredible. As we see Saname and Tomioka spar, we see them use all of their forms, and oh my god, these poor practice swords, they stood no chance. We learn after Saname uppercuts Tanjiro into the moon over Red Bean Paste that they're not fighting each other but training with each other. Speaking of, Tomioka is going to carry some Red Bean Paste with him to give to Saname so that they could become friends. And I just love how clueless they are to Saname. Like, they don't really understand him at all, which is also funny because Saname really doesn't either. They both have these simple solutions for this raging crackhead, and I love it. But later that night, as Saname curses them, I love it. I just think it's so funny. He catches one of the upper moon's eyeballs and realizes they're being infiltrated. And I want to say as well, I love the way that this scene was lit. The orange clashed with the blue hues of the night, along with the striking white of Saname. It just made the scene so pretty. It also was a great way, through colors, to set the tone that the scene was going for, which is the revelation that they've been infiltrated. Also, as a reminder, before we go into the final scene, I'm a partner with GamerSupps, and by using code CTactics, you'll get 10% off your orders site-wide. I love their JJK Cursed Energy flavor, so check that one out, but there's a lot of variety, so if you want to go check for yourself, click that link. I guarantee you they have a flavor to suit you. Thank you, GamerSupps, for being a partner with me. I appreciate it. Finally, let's talk about that entire scene of Muzan walking slowly to where Kaguya is resting with his wife. It was such a badass moment that Ufotable continued the scene after the credits. That's how awesome it was. It really made Muzan feel imposing, like an unnatural force, with all of this beautiful FX surrounding him as he walks slowly, almost looking surreal up to Kaguya. It made me super hyped, not only for the finale of the series next week, but as well, the final 3 movies. I absolutely cannot wait, and it's sad that next week will be the final episode of the Demon Slayer anime series. It's been a wild ride, everyone, and I enjoyed covering covering Demon Slayer every single step of the way. I hope I was able to bring you some form of entertainment for your lives, no matter where you are currently. I'm nothing without your support. Trust me on that one. With that being said, what do you think Muzan wants with Kaguya? My opinion is that he will kill him in the next episode, which will then set up the final film trilogy for the series and motivate all of the Hashira to basically go and fight him in Infinity Castle. Like I said, next week's episode will be feature-length, so we're basically getting a film for the final episode anyways, so maybe we're getting like 4 films. Who knows? Share your thoughts down below, and thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next week, and I love you all. Bye-bye.